సైనిక వీరుడా ఓ వీరుడా అందుకో మా వందనాలు అభివందనాలు. దేశమే తన దేహంగా ప్రజలే తన ప్రాణంగా ఊపిరినిచ్చే తెగువ కలిగిన వీరుడే మన సైనికుడు మన సైనికుడు. భారతీయతే ఆత్మగా దేశ రక్షణే ధ్యేయంగా ఉక్కు పిడికిలి బిగించి ఉరుమై ఉరిమి యుద్ధమేఘమై గర్జించి అగ్నిలా మారి శత్రువును దహిస్తుంటే నీ వీర విహంగం చూసి శత్రువు మూకల గుండెలు పగిలి మంచుకొండ ముద్దలా పిగిలి భరతమాత పాదాలను తాకుతూ ఉంటే వీర తిలకమై వెలిగినావు సైనికుడా ఓ సైనికుడా వీరుడా ఓ వీరుడా. దేశమే తన దేహంగా ప్రజలే తన ప్రాణంగా ఊపిరినిచ్చే తెగువ కలిగిన వీరుడే మన సైనికుడు మన సైనికుడు. సైనిక ఓ సైనిక వీరుడా ఓ వీరుడా అందుకో మా వందనాలు అభివందనాలు. పెహల్గాములో పెట్టేగిపోతుంటే స్త్రీల సింధూరాన్ని చెరిపేస్తుంటే మతోన్మాదుల మూర్ఖపు ముష్కరులా అంతులు చూసే వీరుడా సైనికుడా ఓ సైనికుడా వీరుడా ఓ వీరుడా. దేశమే తన దేహంగా ప్రజలే తన ప్రాణంగా ఊపిరినిచ్చే తెగువ కలిగిన వీరుడే మన సైనికుడు మన సైనికుడు. సైనిక ఓ సైనిక వీరుడా ఓ వీరుడా అందుకో మా వందనాలు అభివందనాలు. మనిషిలో పొంగు రక్తము రంగే ఎరుపు రంగులు వేరని రగులుతున్న రాకాసి మూకల రక్త చరితల బీజ మనసగా కదులు కదులు కదులు. నా దేశ పటం చుట్టూరా నే కంచెలా కాచి నేనుంటానని చెప్పి మరి కదులు ఉంటానని చెప్పి మరి కదులు. దేశమే తన దేహంగా ప్రజలే తన ప్రాణంగా ఊపిరినిచ్చే తెగువ కలిగిన వీరుడే మన సైనికుడు మన సైనికుడు. సైనిక ఓ సైనిక వీరుడా ఓ వీరుడా
హలో. భారత్ మాతా కీ, భారత్ మాతా కీ. మరొక కార్యక్రమం మనం జరుపుకున్నటువంటిది యావత్ భారతదేశం అన్ని రాష్ట్రాల నుంచి ఉమెన్ కాన్ఫరెన్స్ చేయడం జరిగింది. దాని గురించి మహిళా మహోన్నతత గురించి మనం ఒక సాంగ్ చేయడం జరిగింది. దాన్ని కూడా మనం ఒకసారి తిలకిద్దాం.
జననం నీవే జననివి నీవే గమనం నీవే గమ్యం నీవే సృష్టివి నీవే దృష్టివి నీవే కర్తవు నీవే కర్మవు నీవే సత్యం నీవే నిత్యం నీవే శక్తివి నీవే యుక్తివి నీవే మంత్రం నీవే తంత్రం నీవే దీపం నీవే ధూపం నీవే సూత్రం స్తోత్రం నీవే జననం నీవే జననివి నీవే గమనం నీవే గమ్యం నీవే సహనం నీవే సంపద నీవే గమకం నీవే గానం నీవే భాష్యం నీవే బాసట నీవే చెలిమివి నీవే చెలియము నీవే హిత్యం నీవే కృత్యం నీవే భక్తివి నీవే ముక్తివి నీవే యోగం నీవే యాగం నీవే ధ్యానం నీవే యానం నీవే ప్రాణం ప్రణవం నీవే జననం నీవే జననివి నీవే గమనం నీవే గమ్యం నీవే ప్రేమం నీవే ప్రార్థన నీవే తేజం నీవే త్యాగం నీవే గగనం నీవే గర్జన నీవే శిఖరం నీవే సకలం నీవే చిత్తం నీవే వృత్తం నీవే అమృతం నీవే అభయం నీవే పూజవు నీవే పూజిత నీవే విద్యవు నీవే వినయం నీవే సర్వం శరణం నీవే జననం నీవే జననివి నీవే గమనం నీవే గమ్యం నీవే
అందరికీ నమస్కారం మరోసారి. ఇప్పటి వరకు మనము ABRSM ఆధ్వర్యంలో నిర్వహించినటువంటి అసంభవాలని సంభవం చేస్తూ అలవోకగా నిర్వహిస్తున్నటువంటి అనేక కార్యక్రమాలను తిలకించాము. అందులో భాగంగా నేటి కార్యక్రమంలో ఇప్పుడు మనందరి ముందుకు విచ్చేస్తుంది కుమారి నిగమ. తన నృత్యాభినయంతో శ్రీరాముని జననం నుండి ఆయన పట్టాభిషేకం వరకు జరిగిన ముఖ్య సంఘటనలన్నింటినీ మన కళ్ళ ముందుంచేలాగా మన ముందుకు రాబోతుంది. నిగమ కూచిపూడి నృత్యంలో శ్రీ పొట్టి శ్రీరాములు విశ్వవిద్యాలయం నుండి సర్టిఫికేట్ కోర్స్ అలాగే డిప్లొమా కోర్సులను కూడా పూర్తి చేసుకుంది. నిగమని మనందరం కరతాళ ధ్వనులతో ఆహ్వానిద్దాం.
దశరథాత్మజమప్రమేయం సీతాపతిం రఘుకులాన్వయ రత్నదీపం ఆశానుభావం అరవింద దళాయతాక్షం రామా నిశాచర వినాశకరం నమామి. దశరథ వర కుమారుడవైతివి 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 దైవగం సుయాగముగాతివి 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 రసికుడ సీతను పెళ్ళాడితివి రసికుడ సీతను పెళ్ళాడితివి రసికుడ సీతను పెళ్ళాడితివి రసికుడ సీతను పెళ్ళాడితివి రవికులమున బలవంతుడవైతివి రవికులమున బలవంతుడవైతివి అంతట వనవాసము చేసితివి అంతట వనవాసము చేసితివి అంతట వనవాసము చేసితివి అంతట వనవాసము చేసితివి ఆడినమయముగ వెంబడి పోతి ఆడినమయముగ వెంబడి పోతి ఆడినమయముగ వెంబడి పోతి ఆడినమయముగ వెంబడి పోతి చింతిత ఇది మన వశమను పంపిని చింతిత ఇది మన వశమను పంపిని జటాయుదెలు పద వినుమని అతనికి జటాయుదెలు పద వినుమని అతనికి చెడని పదవిగా నొసగిన వెనుక చెడని పదవిగా నొసగిన వెనుక హనుమంతునిచే అభయమొసగితివి హనుమంతునిచే అభయమొసగితి అలసుగ్రీవుని ఆదరించితి అలసుగ్రీవుని ఆదరించితివి జయముగ వృక్షము చాటున నుంటివి జయముగ వృక్షము చాటున నుంటి చరమున బాలిని పూల వేసితివి చరమున బాలిని పూల వేసితివి వానర సేనల దండు గూల్చితివి వానర సేనల దండు గూల్చితివి వారధి గట్టిగా బంధించితివి వారధి గట్టిగా బంధించితివి శరణని వచ్చిన వాణి గాచితివి శరణని వచ్చిన వాణి గాచితివి హరి 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 రణ బిరుదు గట్టిది హరి 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 రణ బిరుదు గట్టిదివి అసురుని కుల మెల హతము చేసితివి అసురుని కుల మెల హతము చేసితివి అరయతమ్ములకు అభయమొసగితి అరయతమ్ములకు అభయమొసగితివి అంతకెక్కి ఆలంక గూల్చితివి అంతకెక్కి ఆలంక గూల్చితివి అద్దలించి రావణు దృంచితివి అద్దలించి రావణు దృంచితివి పట్టము గట్టి విభీషణులంతల పట్టము గట్టి విభీషణులంతల బహు పరాకు రమ పరాకు నేతను
ధీరే 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 ధన్నం ధీరే ధీరే తాత ధీరే ధీరే తక తతికిన తం తం ధనం ధన ధిమి ధిమి కినం కిన తత తరి తత తరి తం ధనం ధన ధిమి ధిమి కినం కిన తత తరి తత తరి తక్కిరే కిరే దాదకిరే రేగిరే దగ దగకిరే తతికిన తం దగ దగకిరే తతికిన తం దగ దగకిరే తతికిన తం తత్తి తన్నత్త చెన్న తత్తి తన్నత్త చెన్న తత్తి తన్నత్త చెన్న తత్తి తన్నత్త చెన్న
వావ్, అద్భుతంగా, చాలా అద్భుతంగా చేసినామమ్మా. శ్రీమద్ రామాయణ మహాకావ్యాన్ని చాలా క్లుప్తంగా మన కళ్ళ ముందు ఉంచినటువంటి నిగమ గారికి మరొకసారి మనం అందరం చక్కగా గట్టిగా కరతాళధ్వనులతో అభినందిద్దాం. తదుపరి కార్యక్రమాన్ని ఒక 2 నిమిషాల్లో కొనసాగిద్దాం.
Good evening. Namaste, everyone. Hope you all have enjoyed a few cultural activities which are performed by the ABRSM. I am Swapna on behalf of ABRSM Telangana, the entire organizing committee. It is a tremendous pleasure to welcome our distinguished guest, Professor M. Jagadeesh Kumar Garu, former Chairman, University Grants Commission. Guest of honor, Professor V. Balakista Reddy Garu, Chairman, Telangana Higher Education Council. Shri Gunta Lakshmanji, National Joint Organizing Secretary, ABRSM. And delegates from different state universities, central universities, colleges, institutions, and organizations across Hyderabad and beyond, to the distinguished lecture and interaction session on NEP 2020, Implement, Measure, Improve. Your presence reaffirmed the collective strength of our academic community. Thank you for making the time to be here. Akhil Bharatiya Rashtriya Shaikshik Mahasangh ABRSM is a national collective dedicated to strengthening the role of education and building connection across India's academic landscape. The ABRSM, having its presence in 29 states with over 12 lakh faculty members, through its various initiatives such as sensitization programs on NEP 2020 and the organization of numerous seminars and workshops, ABRSM has consistently contributed to the discourse of education. At its core, it is a guiding philosophy. राष्ट्र के हित में शिक्षा, शिक्षा के हित में शिक्षक, शिक्षक के हित में समाज. Education for the nation, teacher for education, society for teachers. The Voice of Academicians initiative by ABRSM is a dynamic platform designed to engage academic thought, leader, and policy makers in discussions that shape the future of Indian education. ABRSM's Voice of Hyderabad Academicians offer a space for this interdisciplinary faculty to engage, critically reclaim our civilizational thoughts, and contribute the making of a Viksit Bharat through reflections and collective scholarship. ABRSM in Telangana, under the leadership and guidance of Shri Gunta Lakshmanji, ABRSM National Joint Organizing Secretary, has initiated numerous programs like national seminars on synergizing higher education in the context of NEP 2020, Young Academicians Conclave, 2 programs of Voice of Hyderabad Academicians All India Women Academician Conference and 300th birth anniversary celebrations of Rani Ahalyabai Holkar, Operation Sindur, where we salute our heroes, and many more programs. Now, we deeply honored to have with us today the chief guest and a keynote speaker, Professor M. Jagadeesh Kumar Garu, former chairman, University Grants Commission, and guest of honor, Professor V. Balakista Reddy Garu, chairman, Telangana Higher Education Council, our inspiring leader, guide, eminent personality, Shri Gunta Lakshmanji, ABRSM, National Joint Secretary, Dr. Krishna Reddy Garu, convener, Voice of Hyderabad Academicians, Professor Kavita Madam, ABRSM, State Mahila Pramukh, I request the honor of inviting the esteemed dignitaries onto the dais. I request our ABRSM members to please escort the dignitaries. Please join me in offering a round of applause to welcome our dignitaries. Thank you, sir. I would like to call upon Professor Sailaja Garu, ABRSM, Technical Education, General Secretary, to do honor of presenting a sapling to our esteemed guest, Professor Mamidala Jagadeesh Kumar Garu. Thank you, ma'am. May I request Dr. K. Bhaskar Garu, ABRSM, Collegiate Education, Organizing Secretary, to come forward and hand over the sapling to our guest. Sorry. Okay, sorry. We now call upon Professor Ashok Garu, ABRSM, Technical Education President, ABRSM, to do kindly present the sapling to Shri Gunta Lakshmanji, National Joint Organizing Secretary. I would like to call upon Dr. Dayanand Arya Garu, ABRSM, Collegiate Education President. I would like to call upon Bhaskar sir to please give away the sapling to our convener, Voice of Hyderabad Academician, Dr. Krishna Reddy Garu. Thank you, sir. I would like to call upon Dr. Rajendra sir, ABRSM, National Institutions, to present a sapling to our Professor Kavita Garu, ABRSM, State Mahila Pramukh, Department of Commerce, Osmania University. Thank you, sir. As we inaugurate this momentous occasion, we seek the blessings of Goddess Saraswati. It is through her grace that our path to learning and enlightenment is illuminated. We begin with Pushpanjali, the offering of flowers symbolizing our devotion and the dedication. I would like to respectfully call upon our esteemed dignitaries to offer floral tribute to Ma Saraswati. Yeah. We now proceed the most symbolic part of our ceremony, Deep Prajwalan, the lighting of the ceremonial lamp. I request the same river dignitary to please light the lamp. Thank you, sir. With the divine blessings of Ma Saraswati upon us, we now formally begin our program with Saraswati Vandana by Mrs. Krishna Priya.
कुन्देन्दु तुषारहार धवला या शुभ्रवस्त्रान्वृता या वीणावरदण्डमण्डितकरा या श्वेतपद्मासना या ब्रह्माच्युतशङ्कर प्रभृतिभिः देवै सदा वन्दिता सा मां पातु सरस्वती भगवती निःशेषजाड्यापहा शुक्लां ब्रह्मविचारसारपरमा आद्यां जगद्व्यापिनीं वीणापुस्तकधारिणीमभयदां जाढ्यान्धकारापहां हस्ते स्फाटिकमालिकां विदधतीं पद्मासने संस्थिता वन्दे तां परमेश्वरीं भगवतीं बुद्धिप्रदां शारदां बुद्धिप्रदां शारदाम्.
Thank you. Now we'll have a welcome speech by convener, Voice of Hyderabad Academicians, Dr. Krishna Reddy Garu, Associate Professor, School of Economics, University of Hyderabad.
Very good evening to all of you. It's my pleasure and an honor to welcome all of you for this an important lecture in the evening today in the august presence of our UGC former chairman, Professor Jagadeesh Kumar Garu, as well as Gunta Lakshmanji and Professor Kavita Madam, and all other the teachers and the friends. It's a very pleasure to introduce Voice of Hyderabad Academicians. This is one of the chapter in as a Voice of Academicians in Telangana, which is initiated by ABRSM. We have been conducting various academic, intellectual talks, seminars, as well as Operation Sindoor to salute our heroes. So this is a very prestigious platform to inculcate or propagate the cultural as well as intellectual nationalism in the education institutions and the society. Today, as a convener, I stand before you with a sense of profound the responsibility and reflection. We meet at a moment when India's education system is experiencing both extraordinary possibility and extraordinary pressure. The world around us shifting technologically, socially, economically, and the pace of the change demand that we as educators rise to higher level of consciousness. The purpose of education has never been merely a transmission of information. Information is abundant, it flows freely. What is scarce today is wisdom, the ability to think, to question, to reflect, and to act with integrity. The real crisis in education is not shortage of knowledge, but shortage of meaning. Our students knows more, but they understand less. They learn faster, but they reflect slower. They are connected globally, yet increasingly isolated intellectually. This is why the role of teacher has never been a more critical. We are not just instructors, we are architects of thought, curators of curiosity, and custodians of the nation's intellectual heritage. Every classroom interaction is an act of nation building. Every student we mentor is future citizen shaping India's destiny. The new education policy calls for the transformation, but transformation cannot come merely from policy documents. It must emerge from inner conviction. It requires us to break the inertia of old habits and reimagine the classrooms as a space where ideas breathe, the questions flourish, and creativity is not just encouraged but expected. Let us collectively, learners, we are not afraid to challenge the assumptions. We can hold complexity without collapsing into confusion, and who can see beyond narrow boundaries of the disciplines. Let us inspire in them to courage to think differently and the ability to realize the learning is a lifelong journey. As a convener, I believe that our collective intellectual strength is our greatest resource. When educators come together, not as individuals defending their domains, but as thinkers committed to a shared mission, the impact is transformative. This gathering is testament to the spirit. Let us therefore move forward with renewed sense of purpose. Let us teach not only with our minds, but with our consciousness. Let us research not only for publication, but for progress. And let us engage with our students not as a passive receivers, but as a partners in pursuit of the truth. In the age of rapid change, the world does not need more information. It needs more insight, more compassion, and more courageous intellects. This is true calling academia, and it's a calling we must answer together. So with this, once again, I thank all of you for taking time to gather and strengthening voice of Hyderabad Academicians for intellectual, the building. Thank you once again for giving the opportunity.
Thank you, sir. Now I request Professor Yadaya Garu, Telangana State Convener, ABRSM, to give the introduction of the guest of honor, Shri G. Lakshman G, National Joint Organizing Secretary, ABRSM.
Namaste, good evening to all. It is with immense pleasure that I welcome you all to this special occasion. Lakshmanji is an inspiration to us all. After completing his law degree, he committed himself for the betterment of the society over the last 3 decades. He has worked tirelessly in the student movement across the country. He helped various leadership roles in the world's largest student organization, ABVP, including State Organizing Secretary in Combined Andhra Pradesh, South India Organizing Secretary, and All India Joint Organizing Secretary. Moreover, Lakshmanji associated with the students, teachers, and public for all states is a testament to his dedication to his work. As a full-time worker, he started his service in the holy place Tirupati, and he has since then become an advisory committee member of the World Organization of the Students and Youth, that is WOSY, and has worked with the students pursuing their education in our country. As a leader, Lakshmanji has led several inspiring students movement and has stood as an ideal figure and role model to the students. He has shaped thousands of students into young and inspirational leader, and his achievement extend behind the Indian border. Lakshmanji has visited several prestigious universities in the USA, and had a detailed study of the education system there, bringing back invaluable insights and ideas to implement in our own education system. Lakshmanji's wisdom with an integrated approach to life is admirable, and it is evident in his achievement. He was a man behind several national seminars on implementing the NEP 2020 across the country and brought academicians across the country under one platform in collaboration with prestigious institutions. We are honored to have Lakshmanji with us today, and we are grateful for his dedication, the betterment of the society. Let us welcome him with open arms and listen closely to his inspiring words. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Now I would like Shri Gunta Lakshmanji Garu please address the gathering.
Professor Jagadeesh Kumar Garu, today's program chief guest, and Professor Krishna Reddy Garu, who is the convener of Voice of Hyderabad Academicians, and Professor Kavita Madam, who is the convener for Mahila activity of ABRSM Telangana, and half the dais, so many eminent people I am able to see. Good evening to one and all. First of all, I would like to congratulate team ABRSM Hyderabad. I request give them big claps for organizing this program. Today I am able to see faculty members, not faculty, senior faculty members from Hyderabad Central University, English and Foreign Languages University, Manu, Ambedkar University, and so many engineering colleges, degree colleges, and national institutions, NIN, IICT, CCMB, NGRA, and if I'm not wrong, so many agriculture university, medical college faculty members, and many junior college principals and faculty members, so many private institutions, directors, and many policy makers are here, and we have our Telangana Pranta Upadhyaya Sangam. I'm able to see office bearers of faculty members. We are all gathered here on this auspicious occasion. Why I'm congratulating team Telangana or this Hyderabad, because few years back it was a dream, bringing faculty members together. Whenever there is an issue, they will come. Otherwise, they will not come. If there is an issue, degree means degree will come. Engineering means engineering will come. University means university will come. Again, bifurcation. Promotees separate, direct recruitment separate. It is a kind of thing, and we have in a discussion. No, these faculty members will not come together, but we proved it wrong, and especially ABRSM, this Hyderabad unit. In the beginning, we have seen the pictures of photographs and so many things, all this happened within this 3-4 years. And so many activities. Generally, many people ask you, sir, yours is in a teachers organization and you are doing this kind of Operation Sindoor. Many people ask why you are organizing this program. And there's a young academicians conclave, women academicians conference was organized. And every program, and I'm happy to see that many of you, I'm seeing regularly for every program, and I congratulate you, thank you for your continuous support. If I will say support means it will be make some difference between us, because now majority of you become family of ABRSM now. While I'm sitting here and while I'm interacting with the faculty members from where this organization has started today, where we are, we all become like the family members. Today nobody is feeling that somebody new person has come here. Of course, definitely some new faculty members are joined here, and they are all here. And they came with an emotion. I feel that. No? For that purpose, I am telling ABRSM did a wonderful activity, and we have developed a strong platform. And I always used to say, ABRSM is not some local organization, it's a national level organization. In the beginning, Madam told, ABRSM, Akhil Bhartiya Rashtriya Mahasangh, is a national level organization having its presence in all the 30 states, and more than 12 lakhs members are part of this, from school education to university education. And every state is having a vibrant unit and doing year-long activities. And when it comes to the teachers' organization role to address the issues of the faculty, yes, ABRSM stood top on that. And before that, I would like to my heartfelt thanks to Professor Jagadeesh Kumar Garu. Give him big claps, and he don't need any introduction. He's such an in the Bharat education scenario. Jagadeesh sir role and his contribution, it is enormous. I have not seen from UGC circulars are coming. How many, sir? Total 100 crores, sir. Minimum 100 after national education policy was introduced, And the way, whenever we go there, whenever we want to discuss some issues, he invites all his team and we'll sit together, and ABRSM team another side. And he used to spend, give time for 1 hour, and he used to listen for hours together, because ABRSM doing good work, and the ground realities we are coming to know, that the way he encouraged our ABRSM, and all the times he used to discuss, he used to listen, he used to understand the issues, and he tried to address the issues. Here degree college faculty members are here. You have to congratulate sir here, because this non-PhD issue, because of sir initiation, it was solved. There was a lot of argument, but finally they supported that issue. And not only that, every aspect, ABRSM being in a teachers' organization, from school issues to now TET issue is happening. Here Apas and Tapas team is there, and how seriously we are working on that. And when it comes to national level, any educational level issues are there, yes, ABRSM is the hope of that, and ABRSM doing its best, and it is going to do its whatever the possible best in the benefit of or in the interest of the faculty. ABRSM is going to do that. As said, ABRSM is not in like other teachers' organization. It is an organization with a motto: Rashtriya ke hit mein shiksha, shiksha ke hit mein shikshak, shiksha ke hit mein samaj. When you are working on this particular motto, you should not confine only to the issues of the faculty. Faculty should think beyond that. That is the aim of the organization. I always used to say, by nature, ABRSM is a teachers' union by nature, but by soul, I am repeating, by soul, it is an ideological movement. It wants to bring the transformation in the country's entire scenario. And I will not go into the details what kind of, the colonial rule made us, worst part of, we look into the history, we were the worst damaged and we were worst hit of the country in country compared to any nation in the world. And after independence, unfortunately, the regeneration or the transformation part, it has not on track, but ABRSM with all other organization, like-minded organization, nationalistic organization, ABRSM took this challenge, and ABRSM targeted, or ABRSM working among the academicians. And if these academicians, they got ready to take the challenge of the nation, to transform the nation, to lead the nation, this is the group, and it can give guidance, and it can give the motivation, it can do anything, everything. That is the belief of the ABRSM, and ABRSM successfully going ahead and marching ahead. This is a success story, I can say. This Hyderabad Academicians, not only here, organizing ABRSM, Bangalore, Voice of Bangalore Academicians, Voice of Chennai Academy, Voice of Cochin, Voice of Chennai. Everywhere, wherever academicians are there, ABRSM initiating this kind of activities and bringing all the faculty members together and making them to be part of this nation building. Yes, ABRSM, and I know many of you attended all the programs, majority. I know Operation Sindoor program, it inspired everyone. The scientists, those who were attended that day, and all the dignitaries, those who were there, and the way emotionally they felt, really speaking something and acting and making things coming into reality. So that part ABRSM successfully is organizing through so many of its activities. And as we believe that Guru Brahma, Guru Vishnu, Guru Devo Maheshwara, Guru Sakshat Parabrahma, Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha. So we believe in that, and Guru, in our philosophy, Guru has given certain place, and ABRSM wants this group to become to that stature, and ABRSM inculcating such kind of ideas into the faculty members, and we are seeing success stories. Many faculty members are tuning on par with the ideology, on par with the aim of this organization, and we are able to see the success stories. When it comes to the national education policy, I requested Jagadeesh sir. He accepted. And he said, sir, you have to spend sufficient time with us. Everyone wants to know many things. Today Jagadeesh sir is going to share all his experiences with us. I request every one of you, please spend time. After this program, we have dinner also here. And sir also is ready to be with us. And even after the program also, we can spend time with him. And we should, while going from here, we should leave from here with a clarity, clear-cut clarity. NEP 2020, for many people it may be simply some activity, some news, NEP people. But ABRSM took it very seriously. ABRSM wants that the National Education Policy 2020 is a game changer policy. And this game changer policy is fine, but implementation part is a challenge for every time. After 86, this new education policy has come. 34 years, gap is there. This new policy under the leadership of Kasturi Rangan sir, more than 3.5 years, what kind of meticulous homework has been done, and a holistic, this national education policy has come. And frankly speaking, all these years, when this ABRSM initiated a seminar, synergizing education on par with the NEP, we organized a seminar in Usmania University Tagore Auditorium. It is the first of its kind. More than 1,500 delegates, 2 full days they were there, and many prominent academicians addressed that issue. Since then, till today, after 5 years completion of this program also, ABRSM continuously interacting with the faculty, meeting with the faculty, small, big, and many, these are such a program. And ultimately, ABRSM wants that this country has to, move forward. And the Prime Minister always speaking about Vikasita Bharat. Vikasita Bharat will not mere a slogan. It is going to be reality. We have that capacity. We have that consistency. So now it is the responsibility of this group. Further, we have to take and penetrate into the lost college. How to do that? Positively, if you want to say some XYZ, this, that, no, you can't do anything. If you understand the spirit of that, and Jagadeesh sir will explain many things about that, and if the true spirit, if you understand, and then if you try to implement in true spirit this policy, and definitely this country is going to see a big success. So with this few words, I request every one of you, please be with ABRSM, be part of ABRSM, and the spirit of ABRSM, please you carry further. And there is, in our Shastras it is there. If some Raja, if somebody is do something wrong, there is a place you can say in front of a Guru. So Guru was given such a place. The highest. If Guru will do wrong, there is no other place to say or to put in front of them. So Guru have such place. So we have to play a pivotal role in shaping the future of this country. And this, I can say it is an yagna, ABRSM. As I am telling you, it is an ideological movement, ABRSM doing an yagna, and we are all, should part of this, and everyone should carry the spirit of this organization, the basic idea of this organization. It is well connected to this motherland and this DNA, this mitti, जो भी हम कहते हैं, इससे हम जुड़े हैं, इसको आगे ले जाना है, इस स्पिरिट के साथ हम आगे बढ़ेंगे. सबको फिर एक बार बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद. और I special congratulating Jagadeesh sir for spending his quality time here with us. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much, everybody. Namaste.
Thank you, sir. By your words, we all are energized and motivated by your powerful message and what a faculty can do beyond the classroom for nation building, which leads to Viksit Bharat 2047. Thank you, sir. To introduce our chief guest and keynote speaker, Professor Mamidala Jagadeesh Kumar Garu, former chairman of University Grants Commission, New Delhi. I call upon Professor Nanesh Garu, HCU, to highlight his remarkable achievements.
Thank you, ma'am. Good evening to you all, respected guests, dignitaries on the dais, off the dais, and the invitees. It's my pleasure to introduce the chief guest and the keynote speaker of today, Professor M. Jagadeesh Kumar Garu. Professor Mamidala Jagadeesh Kumar Garu was a professor in the Department of Electrical Engineering at IIT Delhi. As we all aware, he was the chairman of University Grants Commission from 2022 to 2025. Prior to that, he was the 12th Vice Chancellor of Jawaharlal Nehru University, New Delhi. Sir was the NXP Chair Professor established at IIT Delhi by Philips Semiconductors, Netherlands. He was also the chairman of Electronics Group in the Department of Electrical Engineering. Professor Jagadeesh Kumar Garu was the coordinator of VLSI Design, Tools and Technology Interdisciplinary Program. He was also the chief investigator of the nanoscale research facility at IIT Delhi. Professor Kumar was also the chief investigator of the Center of Excellence for Nano Devices and Systems funded by Ministry of Human Resources and Human Resource Development, Government of India. So, sir was rated as an outstanding faculty by the Faculty Appraisal Committee at IIT Delhi. He was also receiver of 2013 Award of Excellence in Teaching in large class category from IIT Delhi. Sir works in the area of nano electronic devices, nanoscale device modeling and simulation, innovative device design and power semiconductor devices. He published extensively in the above areas. He has published more than 200 publications in various reputed international journals. And he was also a fellow of Indian National Academy of Engineering, the National Academy of Sciences, India, the Institution of Electronics and Telecommunication Engineers, India. Professor Jagadeesh Kumar has been awarded the 29th IETE Ramlal Wadhwa Gold Medal for distinguished contribution in the field of semiconductor device design and modeling. Sir also received the first ever ISA VSI Techno Mentor Award by the India Electronics Semiconductor Association to recognize a distinguished Indian academician and researcher for playing a significant role as a mentor and researcher. So this is a very brief introduction. So we have cut short this one. With this brief introduction, I request Professor Jagadeesh Kumar Garu to address the gathering. Thank you, sir.
Lakshman Garu, Krishna Reddy Garu, Kavita Garu, and all the distinguished colleagues who are part of this evening's program. My namaskars to all of you. I understand how difficult it can be for you to travel from different parts of the city and even outside Telangana, come here at this time and be present in such large numbers. I really appreciate your commitment. I also see veterans who have committed their life for the cause of the nation. And I also see a large number of young faculty members coming from diverse disciplines. You have from political science, from Telugu literature, from linguistics, to engineering, science. If I had to see any place where such multidisciplinarity is present, I am seeing it here in this hall. Today we are going to discuss few aspects about NEP 2020. As I repeatedly say in meetings such as this, there are two components to NEP 2020. One, the foundation to NEP 2020, which is the spirit of NEP 2020. And then on top of that, the structural reforms that we are bringing in, the various kinds of schemes that we are announcing, the regulations that come, these are all structural changes that we want to see in our educational system, such as integration of technology in school education, higher education, and so on. What is important for us is to understand the spirit of NEP 2020. And who could be a better gathering than you in looking at the spirit of NEP 2020, revisiting it. What we will do is, I'll speak for about 30 minutes or so, and then I will take questions from you. You can ask any question that you would like to ask about NEP 2020, the doubts that you have in your mind. It's important for us to clear any doubts related to the implementation of NEP 2020, because you are going to be the ambassadors of NEP 2020. When your colleagues ask you, when your students ask you about why this is being done like this, why not like that, you should be in a position to explain to them. So that is why I want to request all of you to perform a simple act. You should not feel shy in doing that. All of you, can you please raise your hand and put it on your right ear and close it as tightly as possible? Well, the reason why I'm asking you to do this, you can remove your hand, is please do not listen to what I am saying with one ear and leave it through the other ear. Because the topics that we are going to deliberate on together, they are very, very important for our country. Now, let us look at one scenario before I get into the NEP 2020. If I had to identify, let's say, one public health issue in our country, as an example, let's say diabetes as a public health issue. But we all know how diabetes can be controlled. Eat balanced food, do some exercise, sleep enough, keep your mind stress-free, and so on. So when I say this, he will say, but these are all known. But on the other side, the number of people who are suffering from diabetes is actually increasing. And why is it happening? Although we know what needs to be done. And that's the reason why I said here for NEP 2020, implement. We know certain things that need to be done, but unless we practice that in our own life, we cannot see the change. Now, to see the change, you need to measure. Let's say you have walked for some time, 6 months. Is there a change in your weight? Is there a change in your blood glucose levels? You have to measure. And then that measurement has to be used as a feedback to bring some more changes in your lifestyle so that you become a healthy person. If each one of us become healthy individuals, then at a national level, that particular lifestyle disease will disappear to be a public health issue. Now, when we look at our educational system, the decline of our educational system began about 190 years ago in 1835 with Lord Macaulay. And after independence, also our educational system got into a particular way, in a particular way the education is conducted in our country. It never recovered from it, from the damage that was caused right from 1835. For the first time in independent India, in 2020, a comprehensive policy was launched. And as all of us know, that is the NEP 2020. All of you have read NEP 2020. All of us have attended so many workshops to understand the spirit of NEP 2020. But however, we see that on the ground, there is so much work that needs to be done to bring that change that we want to see in our educational system. We know what needs to be done. It's already 5 years since we have launched the NEP 2020. And that's the reason why our focus should be on implementing this NEP 2020 at a rapid pace. And when we implement, we have to see the outcomes of that. For example, if I give academic bank of credits, we set a goal of, let's say, by next 1 year, we want to enroll 10 crore students. Now, at the end of 1 year, is it 10 crore? Is it 3 crore? Is it 15 crore? We need to measure and then bring in changes in order to be successfully implementing NEP 2020. Friends, therefore, if I see where we are in the implementation of NEP 2020, if I talk to different people, we will hear different stories, different information. But at a national level, if we have to see how NEP 2020 is implemented, we have to look at real data. The organizations such as UGC, AICT, Ministry of Education, we do collect a lot of data from different sources. And now when we look at this data and analyze this data, we find that there are institutions, there are states where NEP 2020 is being implemented very rapidly. But we also see areas, we also see institutions where more effort has to be put in order to bring change in our educational system. And that's the reason why meetings such as this, they will tell us where we are lagging behind, where we are moving faster. And this information will provide us, this kind of brainstorming will re-energize us to get into the field, talk to our colleagues, talk to the students, and take NEP 2020 forward. Friends, I consider it a privilege and honor to be standing before you and sharing some of my thoughts, because I have a strong belief that you are committed academicians. You will continue to work to reform our educational system. You will remove from your mind words like This cannot be done. Words like, the system is so bad, can it be changed? Words like disappointment. We should all be positive minded. Did we ever think that in our country we could lift 25 crore Indians outside the poverty? Did we ever imagine that India will become the third largest ecosystem for startup companies? Did we ever imagine that India will have such a strong digital public infrastructure? There are so many positive stories. During last 10 years, our country has achieved so much that we will have to seriously think about how we can collectively work together to take our country to become a fully developed country. And we have a timeline of 2047. Although we have demographic advantage in terms of the young population that we have, but the window that we have is a short window. It's only about 20 years. So by 2047, we'll have to really work hard. So each one of us who is sitting here, and all those whom you will be contacting, you will be discussing, all of us should be part of this journey to transform our country so that we become a technological leader, we become a role model for the entire world. And we can do that. We have already demonstrated that during last 10 years. Now, if I had to focus on few aspects of NEP 2020 from the spirit point of view, in our education system, we have students, we have faculty members, we have educational leaders, and then we have all the supporting staff. All of us have to play our important role in strengthening our educational system. We have here faculty members, as I said, from science, engineering, humanities, languages, from diverse subject areas. Each one of you have a role to play. It is not that just only science and technology will take us forward. It's also humanities. It's also the history that we teach to our students, the psychology, the philosophy. Each of these subjects are important. But however, we also have to remember that for each one of us, we have a future that we want to build. As each individual, we want to have a positive future for ourselves. Collectively, as a country, we want to have a future for our country which is secure, which is sustainable, which is healthy and peaceful. If you have these four things at a national level, each one of us will be very happy. If you look from the perspective of the young people, especially the large number of young people who come from rural backgrounds, large number of students who come from socio-economically weaker sections, their first goal is going to be, after I get educated, will I be ready for work? I'm not saying will I be ready for employment. Employment is only a subset of preparing our students for work. The work may involve working myself, I'm a self-employed person, or I may start a business, or I may start an enterprise, or I may look for an employment. So we need to prepare our youngsters for work. And that is going to be the major focus of our young people. Why? Because many of us, when we come from a village to a university to a college, most often I am the first degree holder in the family. And my parents could be a farmer, it could be a washerman, it could be a teacher in a village. So, as a young person, I feel that I should prepare myself for work and support my family. So now, when we look at the educational institutions as teachers, the education that we provide to them, is it preparing them for work? Honestly, if you put your hand on your heart and look back, we are definitely not doing that. We simply give them a degree. I am daughter of a washerman from a village. With lots of hopes, I come to a university, I get a degree, but I don't have the competencies, I don't have the required skills to prepare myself for work. And through my work, I want to improve the social and economic status of my family. And that's not happening. So therefore, friends, this is one aspect. The other aspect is, if you globally look at what is happening, the geopolitical uncertainties that you are observing, there are countries which are expansionist. There are countries which will make you dependent on them for every product, for every technology. In that situation, shouldn't we make our country more secure? Shouldn't we make our country self-reliant? When we say self-reliant, it doesn't mean that we want to close the doors and become an isolated country. We want to become a country which can supply to the rest of the world, which can take care of the needs of our own people. But how can we do that? We can do that only when we focus on science, technology in our educational institutions. What kind of education are we providing to our students in science and technology? Are we encouraging enough female students, enough women to get into these areas? Now, today you have seen the newer technologies that are coming, such as the AI technologies and the pharmaceutical technologies, the semiconductor technologies. Whenever scientists develop newer technologies, when people use these technologies, their lifestyles are going to change. I can see many of you checking your phones while we are in this meeting. Our life is being constantly changed by the absorption of technology in our everyday activities. Now, who can study this? Only the social scientists. Who can study the economic situation of our country? The political scientists, the economists. Therefore, as an educational system, therefore, we must focus on science, technology, and all other disciplines also. And that's the reason why NEP 2020 talks about multidisciplinarity. You cannot just make an AI engineer who doesn't know anything about ethics. You cannot make a semiconductor engineer who brings a lot of new chips without understanding how, when these chips are used in our electronic applications, how our life is going to change, how we are going to interact with each other. So we need to ensure that our students are sensitized about the other subjects also, in addition to the area in which they deeply study. Now, considering the individual aspirations of our young people, considering our national requirements, when we implement NEP 2020, which are the areas on which we need to focus? I would like to touch upon those few areas. There are so many things to discuss in a meeting such as this. We will not be able to focus on everything, but I will pick up a few and then I will tell you why these are areas on which we must emphasize. Now, I'm going to do a small act, and I want you, all of you, to observe and listen to me. So, did you hear some sound? What is that? I pulled out something and then I stuck it. What is that called? Huh? Velcro? Velcro, right? So there was an engineer long ago. He was going with a dog in a forest. And after walking for some time, he found that on his clothes and on the fur of the dog, there were some small seeds that were getting stuck. You know, normally our tendency would have been just to wipe them out and then walk. But this engineer was very curious. Why are they getting stuck? So he went back and he observed these seeds under microscope. And he found that these seeds have a hook. And whenever there is a loop in the cotton, in the clothes, this hook is getting into that loop and getting stuck. And he got an idea that why not use this idea to make a product. And that product is now that we use every day. Right? If you want to develop anything, any new product, the first thing that we need to create in our minds, especially in the minds of our students, is curiosity. Unless we are curious, if I am walking past, unless I am curious about this plant, I will not wait and see why this plant is like this. Once the students are curious, then questions will come in their mind. And they start imagining in their mind to find an answer to these questions. And they develop the ability to connect these dots and see the patterns that are not visible to another person. And those new patterns that you see in our imagination, right, that is a new idea. You have used the mouse trap at our home, right? It's a small wooden box with a small door with a spring, and you put some bread there and then leave it, and the mouse comes and then it gets trapped there. You go to a local market and buy this for 100 rupees, 200 rupees. But you know, during last 100 years or so, more than 60,000 patents have been filed on improved versions of mouse traps. But we don't buy them, although it's a great idea. Why? Because when ideas are not associated with value, then those will remain only as ideas. So whenever I have an idea, if I can also provide value to that idea, and that process is called innovation. We want to make our students innovators. Innovation comes from attaching value to ideas. Ideas come from your ability to imagine by raising questions. and by being curious. So the entire chain is connected. And that's the reason why in NEP 2020, we say that we must provide an ecosystem inside the classroom and outside the classroom where the students are constantly engaged in questioning, in critically thinking, in imagining, and in developing new ideas and by being innovative. So now do you see the connection? If we want to develop a good defense technology for our country, and if our defense scientists had to be produced from our university system, they should remain curious. They should not remain conformists. They should have the ability to stand up and ask the teacher the questions. Are we creating such an environment in our everyday classrooms? Tell me honestly, no. We are not creating. Point one. Now, if we want to make our country a technologically stronger country, what is that we need to do? All of you use Google for Google search, right? Google was established in 1998. But how did Google come? There was a professor. He was a student at IIT Kanpur, and then later he became a professor of theoretical computer science in Stanford University, Rajiv Motwani. Rajiv Motwani was working with two of his PhD students, Larry Page and Sergey Brin. And they asked a question. Rajiv Motwani asked a question. What can you do if you have the web in your pocket? Now all of you can answer. I will just use it to send messages to my friends, search on Google and so on. But that was the toughest question that he asked Rajiv Motwani. And they published the theoretical work, the basic research related to the searching engines, search engines. Earlier, the search engines used to get information by using keywords. But Rajiv Motwani and his two students, they said, why should we use keywords? See, good research comes when you ask questions. Why not we use the graph theory and use the nodes of this graph to search words? And when they did this basic research and experimented it in their computer science lab, they found that this system is working very fast and it can find information very quickly compared to any other search engine. And he motivated his two students to establish Google. Unfortunately, Rajiv Motwani, he died at a very young age, at the age of 47, due to some unforeseen accident at his home. But this idea has come from Indian brain, Indian DNA. Most of us don't know that today Google is there on the global platform. It's because of the basic research done by our own Indian. How many of you have used ChatGPT? I'm sure all of you will raise your hand. All of you will raise your hand. Who was responsible for developing ChatGPT through his basic research? Ashish Vaswani. He did some theoretical basic research work in 2017 and he published a paper. And the title of that paper is Attention is All That You Need. That is the title of the paper. It's a theoretical basic research paper in 2017. And the lead author of this basic research is Ashish Vaswani. Within 5 years, OpenAI was established and ChatGPT is developed. How many of you know that the brainchild behind ChatGPT is our Indian brain? Not many know. My dear friends, Indians are outstanding scientists. Not just thousands of years ago, that tradition continues even today. Today, if you send a WhatsApp message to your friend in US, it goes through the local internet service provider and goes through an optical cable to Mumbai, and from there it goes through undersea cable network, fiber network, to the ISP provider in US, and then it gets delivered in the phone of your friend. 99.5% of the distance, the signal is traveling in a fiber optic cable. The fiber optic cable, the fact that images can be transmitted through a fiber optic cable was first reported in 1954 in the journal known as Nature. All of you have heard about Nature. And in 1960, the same author published another paper in Scientific American. The title of this paper is only 2 words, fiber optics. And it's because of that paper that today we all call it fiber optics. And today the internet would not have been present without this fiber optics. And who invented that? It came through the basic research work of Narendra Kapani. He was a student from Punjab University. And he developed the fiber optic network. You see, you're not aware. I don't know how many of you are aware. Friends, Indians are immensely capable. But all this happened in spite of the fact that our educational system is so constrained by this colonial mindset, this Lord Macaulay kind of thinking. Imagine if we implement NEP 2020 and make each and every of our students curious and innovative, the kind of inventions that we can make, the kind of technologies that we can make, and change the way the entire human societies live, that potential is immense. But how can we do that? We can do that only by doing the foundational things, the everyday things that we see. Don't think about publishing a paper in a top journal, in top impact factor journal. All that will happen as a byproduct only when we start right inside the classroom, when we are interacting with our students. You may be teaching political science, you may be teaching mathematics, biology, or engineering. Every day, this should be, as teachers, challenge our students to think critically, be curious, and become innovators. So therefore, NEP 2020 says that we must focus on basic research and applied research in our educational institutions. Now, many of you might say that where are the facilities for doing basic research? Where is the funding for doing basic research? Take Jagadeesh Chandra Bose. When he invented the first radio communication, or the kind of inventions that he made in biology, in plant physiology, there were not many equipment. He built the equipment himself. It doesn't mean that we have to work in the same situation now. What is required is the attitude. In spite of the difficulties that I have in my system, can I deliver the best? That is the attitude that you have to develop. All of us had to develop. If you look at globally, no university gives you funding on a platter and asks you to do research. It's always a struggle to get funding. And once you have the funding, then you'll have to establish your lab and then do basic research. Basic research we do in science and technology. What about other areas? Of course you can do. Whether it is humanities or political science or linguistics or languages, there is so much basic work that needs to be done. For example, a political scientist can work why democracy is so strong in our country. Our Prime Minister often says, India is the mother of democracy. Why is that democracy so strong in spite of so much of diversity that we have? Can we present this as a model to the rest of the world? You have seen so much of uncertainty across the world. Governments collapsing, dictatorial governments taking over, and so on. But today, in our country, we have such a strong democratic system. Why do research in areas which are so irrelevant to us, which are so Western-oriented kind of ideas? Why not focus on ideas that are relevant to our country? So, independent of in which discipline you work, you can do a lot of basic research. Some things may lead to products, some things may lead to strengthening our economic system, strengthening our democratic system, strengthening our socio-cultural bonding in our country. So every discipline has its role in contributing to the development of our country. So, my dear friends, involve your students, young students, in getting interested to do basic research as part of their education. And that's the reason why in UGC, we have brought a lot of reforms. Now we encourage young students immediately after their 4-year undergraduate program to directly join in PhD programs. We encourage our 4-year undergraduate students to do internships, to do research in their final year. Why not even second year, third year, and move on to 4th year and do some really good research? Often in our educational system, when we say PhD, our focus is to identify a problem, do research, and publish in a journal. Now we are saying that model is outdated. Why not do something which will lead to a prototype, which will lead to a product in those disciplines which is possible, and give PhD for contributing, developing new applications. IIT Jodhpur, for example, has started a new program. The idea behind this program is that when student joins in a PhD program, they have to come up with ideas which will ultimately lead to establishment of a startup company, which will lead to development of a product. And then the student will get a PhD degree without even publishing a research paper. UGC has removed the mandatory condition for publishing research papers in PhD, considering the fact that those who wish to do basic research and publish, they can publish. Those who can develop some product, they can develop these products. So we must provide this kind of flexibility in our research programs. Do you agree with me? Shouldn't we focus on basic research? Don't you agree with me that there is so much of potential in our young students coming from villages and towns? So this message is something that we need to spread. This is something that you need to talk to the heads of your institutions. ensure that policy changes come at the university level and college level. And don't get disappointed. It's a long journey. Overnight changes cannot happen because our thinking process is rooted in this colonial mindset. It is a struggle. In fact, I feel, and I'm sure you share with me also, exactly 100 years ago, if I turn the clock back in 1925, the entire nation was fighting to get freedom, to throw out these foreign rulers from our country. They gave their lives. But now, after 100 years, if you look at, this is a historic moment available to all of us in our life. It will not come again and again. We have set ourselves on a path to transform our country, to strengthen our social fabric, to use our diversity as a strength, to become a leader in the world, in sustainability, in technological development, in economic progress. For all of us, therefore, it is a patriotic mission to ensure that we train our students using NEP 2020 as a roadmap so that we can realize this dream that we have set for ourselves. Maybe 100 years later, when our future Indians look back, they will study how all of us have struggled to transform our country. So it's a historic moment. Don't you agree with me? It's not an ordinary situation. It's not something routine thing that we are doing. It's a historic moment that we have in our own lives. So therefore, my dear friends, it becomes our national duty to involve everybody in our journey. Now let me take one more issue. All of you have links with a village like me. We all have come from villages. If you look at a farmer, what do you see? Throughout the year, what does the farmer do? Various activities. And this requires what kind of knowledge? The farmer has to know the weather patterns. The farmer has to know the quality of seeds. The farmer has to know the farming of cows and buffaloes, taking care of them. The farmer has to know the soil quality. The farmer has to know how to harvest, how to store the harvested crop. The farmer has to know about the market. Multiple things a farmer has to know. In fact, right in front of our eyes when we are moving around, we see an expert who has immense knowledge in multidisciplinary areas. If the farmer knows only one, you and me would not have food on our table. Is it not? Now, when we have set a goal for our country to make it a fully developed Vikasit Bharat by 2047, we cannot achieve that if we don't introduce multidisciplinarity in our educational system. So this is another important focus area for NEP 2020. When we introduce multidisciplinarity, when the students see different perspectives, they get newer ideas, and then they can grow to become an innovator. There are various ways. Again, when I say multidisciplinarity, immediately in your mind, thoughts will come. Where are the teachers? Where is the infrastructure? What is the use of multidisciplinarity? All these thoughts will come. And if anybody questions you about why we need multidisciplinarity, ask them, look at your foot. Who is producing that food? Do you think that person is a specialist or a multidisciplinary expert? So, friends, but how do you introduce this multidisciplinarity in our educational system? UGC has already come up with many things. But the challenge for us is implementing them. Because number one, as teachers, all of us have come from such a system, we are all single disciplinary experts. So if I had to adopt multidisciplinarity, first of all, the resistance will come in our own minds. That is where we need to focus on first. Look around and see globally what is happening. Right from first year in the university education, multidisciplinarity is very common across the globe. And that's the reason why many of those countries have become advanced countries. But we had an educational system whose sole purpose was to prepare people to work for the colonial master, to prepare accounts, to prepare this, to prepare that. They didn't want anything else to happen in our country. Should we continue that? Or shouldn't we come out of that? The sooner we do that, the better. For example, how do you ensure that multidisciplinarity gets imbibed in the minds of the students? Right at the time of admission, UGC has very clearly said, irrespective of which subjects the students study in the school, in their board exam, they should be admitted in any discipline that the student wants to study. Let's say I have studied humanities because my uncle advised me to study humanities. But now I want to study physics. Why should I be prevented from studying physics? Yes, the student should have some basic understanding of physics. And today there is so much of information available, whether it is Swami, NPTEL or other online resources. If I have done self-study and if I have acquired that competency, and if I can show my competency by writing an entrance exam, a humanities student, why can't they join in a biology program, in a physics program, or in an engineering program? This is the first step, right at the time of entry to the higher education. We can create this multidisciplinarity. Imagine in my class, I will have students who are non-science, who have come from humanities and other areas, who have come from science areas, who have come from within science, different kinds of subject. The kind of diversity you will have in the classroom will be enormous, and that will be very, very interesting. Because newer perspectives, when you put these students to solve a problem, a student who is coming from humanities will give one idea, a student coming from science will give another idea, and you can see what kind of new ideas can be produced. And then we have also said that doesn't matter in which area you have done your undergraduate program, you should be able to join in any other discipline at the postgraduate level, and similarly at the PhD level. But the challenge is, are the universities changing? If you look at the life study of some of the greatest scientists or engineers, they have no connection with what they did in their undergraduate program. During last 25 years, if you look at the Nobel Prizes in medicine, 70% of the Nobel Prize winners in medicine, they don't have a medical degree, but still they could contribute. That is the power of multidisciplinarity. So friends, do you agree with me on that? The other area that I would like to focus on is going back to the skills and competencies that we must provide to our students. By the way, just it came to my mind, while coming from airport, one of our faculty members from the Central University of Hyderabad. He was kind enough to bring me from the airport and drop me at my home here. So while coming, he asked me, why is that in India we spend only 0.7% of our GDP in education, in research, whereas other countries are spending so much. If you look at US, for example, US spends about 3.43% of their GDP in R&D. That appears big because US is close to about $30 trillion economy. So 3.43% of that is a huge amount. But if you closely look at it, out of this 3.43%, only 0.6% is government funding. The remaining 18% of this 3.43% of GDP comes from industry. So in our country, if we want to strengthen the R&D and have better collaboration with the industry, industry has to step in. The Indian government is already providing a significant amount of funding. Recently, Government of India has announced 1 lakh crore funding for the private industry. Now it is for the private industry to come and spend a significant amount of their revenue in the R&D. It is happening, but they are isolated. For example, Sun Pharma, Bharat Electronics, Tejas Networks, some of these industries, they are already spending about 6 to 7% of their revenues in R&D. More and more industries had to come forward to strengthen the R&D ecosystem in our country. Now that is one part, that is mostly for research. But we also need industry to provide the required skills to our students. I'll give you an example. Today, if you search in ChatGPT, it will go to a data center and analyze that and then give the information back to you. Now, Indian government has said that all the data has to be in the servers here, in the data centers in our country, because data sovereignty is as important as our land sovereignty. So, a lot of data centers are being built in our country. Recently, you might have heard in Vizag, Microsoft announcing 15 billion investment for building data centers, AI data centers in next 5 years. Now in a data center, what happens? What kind of people you need? Are we training our students ready to work in these data centers? For example, a data center requires people who are familiar with fire systems. A data center needs people who are experts in cooling. These servers have to be cooled. You need people who are experts in networks, in cloud computing, in server maintenance. So multiple skills are required to run a data center. Now, why can't we provide these skills as part of our regular degree programs? Now, out of 4.5 crore students that we have in higher education, nearly 70% of the students are doing BA, BSc, BCom. And you can imagine the struggle these students undergo in getting work because we don't provide them enough skills, enough competencies. It's not because the students are less competent. The students are less intelligent. It's because we are failing in providing the required skills to them. So that is why UGC has come up with a scheme, a framework where 50% of the credits can be used to major in a particular discipline. I want to study medieval history. Fine. Use these 50 credits and become an expert in medieval history. But the remaining 50% of the credits, can you use 10 credits to study, let's say, cooling systems in a data center? Can you use 10 credits for getting skills in logistics, 10 credits in, if you have mathematics background, in data science, 10 credits in tourism. Now you see, my opportunities for work will get multiplied. I'm a historian because I have deeply studied, but at the same time, I also have additional skills so that I can go and find work for myself. So friends, this is an area where you have to constantly work. In order to empower our students to be ready for work, you need to provide multidisciplinary education. You need to provide multiple skills to them. Now the question comes, how can we do that? Because we are not trained as teachers. And that's the reason why UGC has introduced what is known as Professor of Practice. Bring these industry experts to teach your students to offer these courses. And UGC is also saying, I don't know how many of you who are in science and engineering background have gone and spent a month or few weeks in an industry, see how the real world works. Many of you have not gone. It's because the university doesn't send. But now we have policies, UGC is constantly telling, give certain period of time to your faculty so that they can go and see the real world, how it works. We cannot teach our students by simply reading a book. We also have to have that experience. Only then we can, with conviction, we can teach. Similarly, in humanities and in other areas, you can go to the relevant organizations and then see. A professor can work with, let's say, a public servant, or a humanities teacher can go to a court and see how things work there. You need to have real world experience to be able to convey that experience to your students. So Professor of Practice, bringing in industry experts, you yourself going and seeing the real world, these are all important things. We are at UGC level, at Ministry of Education level, we conduct meetings with the Vice Chancellors across the country. We have divided the country into 5 zones, East, West, Central, North, South, and so on. And hundreds of Vice Chancellors come. We deliberate on these things with the hope that when they go back, some of this information percolates to their faculty, and then collectively they bring in these reforms. On 28th, for example, we have, for the entire northeastern region, we have a one-day meeting in Bharatiya, which is a central university. So we are calling few hundred vice chancellors, few hundred principals from across the northeastern states to deliberate and discuss. And this time, for the first time, we are also bringing industry experts in our program. Because often we complain, the academicians say the industries are not interested, the industries say the universities are not interested. We wanted to bring them face to face and listen to each other's concerns and see if we can find a via path and hand-holding so that we can have better collaboration with industry and provide better skills to our students. Friends, some of these things are very, very basics. I didn't want to sound highly philosophical and highly policy-oriented. We all have studied NEP 2020. What is required for us is conveying this message to more number of people and bring more people into implementing the NEP 2020 and measure the outcomes. And based on the outcomes that we see, if certain things are implemented well, we can learn a lesson from there. If certain things are going at a slower pace, we can still learn lessons from there and improve the system so that we implement it even better. And this can happen only through discussion and dialogue. Remember the first act that I requested all of you to do? Put your hand on your right hand. And I hope that whatever few basic things that we discussed today, it will not come from the left ear and go from the right ear. It will stay within yourself. And amplify this message. It is not necessary that every time we need to have big gatherings like this. Each one of you can conduct small meetings with your own faculty colleagues. Don't be afraid of criticism. Don't be afraid of questions coming from the audience. When I was there recently in one of the central universities in Hyderabad only with faculty, one faculty stood up and asked, "Sir, why should we reorient our degree programs to meet the market requirements?" He will get these kind of questions. So you need to be prepared to face these kind of questions. We had a one-day Vice Chancellor's meeting, and in all Vice Chancellor's meeting, we have this question-answer session. I say, ask any question you are afraid to ask. Lots of questions come. And at the end of the program, when we were concluding and I was walking, one gentleman walked and asked, "Sir, why do we need multidisciplinarity in our education?" It's like listening to the entire Ramayana and then ask, "Sir, how is Sita related to Ram?" So, please spend time. I'm urging you because you are the real ambassadors. You have that concern to transform our educational system. So read the documents that are provided by UGC, read NEP carefully, and amplify this message among students, among faculty members. I think I'll stop here. Otherwise, Lakshmanji will stand up and take the microphone from my hand. So, do we have some time for question-answer sessions? Friends, ask any question. Yeah, I think they will give a microphone.
Good evening, sir.
Yes.
This is Jagan from Pondicherry University, PhD scholar.
Right.
Sir, my question is that మీరు సిబిసిఎస్ గురించి మల్టీడిసిప్లినరీ గురించి చాలా బాగా మాట్లాడారు సార్. రీజనల్ ఎన్ఈపిలో రీజనల్ లాంగ్వేజ్ మదర్ టంగ్ గురించి చాలా మంచి పెట్టారు, దానికి థ్యాంక్ యూ. కాకపోతే నేషనలైజ్డ్ ఎగ్జామ్స్ నీట్ కానీ ఎన్టీఏ కానీ యూజీసీ నెట్ కానీ ఇట్లాంటి ఎగ్జామ్స్ కండక్ట్ చేసినప్పుడు యూజీసీ హిందీ ఇంగ్లీష్తో పాటు రీజనల్ లాంగ్వేజ్ లైక్ తెలుగు కానీ తమిళ్ కానీ మరాఠీ కానీ పంజాబీ కానీ క్వశ్చన్ పేపర్ ఎందుకు తయారు చేయలేకపోతుంది?
Right. All languages spoken in India are Indian languages. There is nothing like some regional language. Everything is an Indian language. And going back to your question, why not? We should do it. And we are on the way of doing it. In fact, all the major entrance examinations should be conducted in 13 languages, 12 Indian languages and 1 English. So it will happen. Sooner or later, things are moving in that direction.
ఇంకో క్వశ్చన్ ఉంది సార్ నాది.
రైట్.
రియల్ టైమ్ ఇండస్ట్రీ ఎక్స్పర్ట్స్ని అకాడమిషియన్స్ తోటి కొలాబరేషన్ చేయాలని మీరు మాట్లాడారు. ఇప్పుడు ఇండస్ట్రీ ఎక్స్పర్ట్స్ ఉన్నారు కదా, ఆ ఇండస్ట్రీ ఎక్స్పర్ట్స్ని అంటే టీచర్ రిక్రూట్మెంట్లో అసిస్టెంట్ ప్రొఫెసర్ రిక్రూట్మెంట్ కానీ టీచర్ రిక్రూట్మెంట్లో ఇండస్ట్రీ ఎక్స్పర్ట్స్కి ఏమైనా అంటే రీసెర్చ్ ఎక్స్పీరియన్స్ లాగా ఇండస్ట్రీ ఎక్స్పీరియన్స్ ఉన్న వాళ్ళకి ఏమైనా మార్క్స్ యాడ్ చేస్తారా?
Right. Even before you go to the teacher recruitment, what we are saying is that when you design your curriculum in the universities, bring industry experts also, take their inputs. So let us start at that level first. Right.
Sir?
He is bringing the microphone so that others can hear you.
Sir, good evening, sir. Sir, good evening, sir.
I'm going to be here even if it is midnight. So
I'm Shivaraj from Usmania University, sir.
Shivaraj garu, cheppandi.
Sir, one thing, sir, regarding the uneven implementation of NEP, sir. So one of the key objectives of NEP 2020 is to ensure equitable access to all to high quality education to all learners, irrespective of their background. But in practice, the NEP 2020 is being implemented only in IITs, IIMs, then private institutions, central universities, and some other universities. But the institutions which are present in remote and socio-economically disadvantaged areas, and in some state universities, it is not possible to implement effectively, more effectively. Partially they may be implementing, but effectively implementation is not possible. So this leads to widening the existing educational gap.
Okay.
How do we
Right. No, it's a very important question.
tackle this issue, sir?
The issue of equity comes, number one, from finances. If I am not financially strong enough, I may not be able to go to higher education. So that is why Government of India has come up with what is known as Vidya Lakshmi scheme. In any discipline, students can get loan very easily. Earlier only engineering students used to get, now you can get. Similarly, UGC has many scholarships for equity. Comes from another area in equity is the female participation in higher education. It has multiple dimensions. For example, UGC gives scholarships to single girl child. Every year we give about 1,000 scholarships across the country. And now there are thousands of women PhD students getting into higher education. Similarly, equity, when you said remote area, northeastern region, some of you have visited northeastern region, connectivity is a problem. You will see educational institutions located in very remote areas. UGC gives scholarships to the students, 10,000 scholarships to do their university education at undergraduate and postgraduate level. So there are multiple efforts that are happening to take care of the financial aspects. But equity also is related to, let's say, I am a student. I find to complete my degree very hard within 3 years. Now NEP 2020 has introduced this reform. UGC has brought out. If a student wants to study a 3 years degree in 4 years in slow-paced way, allow the students to do. Don't say that the student has to complete only in 3 years. Equity also, if somebody wants to finish in 2.5 years a 3 years degree, let the student take more credits per semester and complete in 2.5 years. So this kind of flexibility has to be produced. The policies are already there. UGC has already announced several such flexible ways of introducing equity. Multi-entry, multi-exit is another component of providing equity, right? You know, I come from a poor family. For 2 years I study my degree. But for 1 year I want to go and help my father in agriculture and come back and continue. In most cases, I met a student who was doing the second year somewhere in Kerala. I met a student, he was doing engineering. After 2 years, he fell sick and he wanted to come back and continue. He lost out the chance. And then he joined in some other program somewhere. But today, through multi-entry, multi-exit option, this kind of equity can be taken care of. So there are multiple dimensions for equity. But I also agree that many universities, colleges have to implement this. And this is where all of you play an important role. In your own college, when you go back, in your own university, has your AC passed, EC passed multi-entry, multi-exit scheme? Has your statutory body, such as AC and EC, passed, let's say, accelerated degree program? Has it introduced some skill-based courses? You need to constantly raise these issues in your AC meetings, EC meetings, in your board of studies. You need to raise your voice, and that's the reason why it is called Voice of Hyderabad Academicians. You have to raise your voice. Only then we will see the change.
Sir. Sir, I'm Dr. Bhadrareddy, sir, from Malardi Group of Institutions. So my question is that most of the students, like today, they are preferring engineering, like computer science-based courses, like maybe AI or what is the future like, sir? Like most of them are shifting. If you're talking about multidisciplinary, how should we change it?
Let me tell you one fact.
And one more question, sir.
No, before you go to the other question. As I said in the beginning, out of 4.5 crore students in higher education, the engineering students constitute only 5 to 6%. You said all the students are going to engineering. No, only 5 to 6%. The rest of the students are studying non-engineering subjects. And that is where our challenge lies. How do we make these students competent, skillful, so that they can contribute to the economic growth of the country? That is one big challenge that we have. The other challenge is within engineering itself, certain disciplines are becoming less important and less interesting to the students. They are not joining in civil engineering, in chemical engineering. Everybody, as you rightly said, they want to study AI or computer science. So how do you change? So now we are discussing even in IITs also that there are certain skills which are common now. AI should be common to all disciplines. Once you introduce AI from that perspective, civil engineering students will come and they will join. Today, our chemical industry is going very fast. The construction sector is going very fast. So you require people there also, right? That is one aspect. So I don't agree that everybody is going to engineering. Yeah.
Sir,
yeah.
I want to bring one perspective, sir. Today, if you look at the academic side, institutions today, because of multiple rankings and accreditations by UGC, AICT, or the affiliating university, or extension approval by AICT, so that's requiring huge burden and engagement of the faculty on this data collection, data saving, data submission. So throughout the year, they have an entire year, if you look at NIRF, NBA, NAC, or AICT extension approval. So they're totally engaged in these activities today. And we have seen recently our ex-director, Ram Gopal Rao, comments on this, and also Professor Krishna Kumar, ex-chairman NCRT, so also commented recently that today these rankings, accreditation leading to mad race among the academic institutions.
In
so
fact,
and also Sahasrabudhe told there will one rank and one nation. So I think when this will be implemented in this country, when we can go away with NRF, NBA, NAC.
You have actually expressed the collective view of all the academicians here, right?
Please, I want to answer on this. A single rank, only rank and not rank. We want quality.
Correct.
We are for the quality.
Right. So the consultations are going on, and when we come up with this system, we want to ensure that it's a robust system, single data point, and so that you don't have to submit to different agencies. So it's happening, and it will sooner or later it will be implemented. It's going to be implemented.
Sir, I'm Dr. Raju Padia from Usmania University, sir. Sir, thank you so much for a nice speech about NEP 2020.
Right.
Sir, one query, sir. Sir, actually, I do remember that in 2014 to 15, C.V. Raman Fellowship has stopped, sir. We being a young faculty, since then 10 years we are waiting. So many times we have also requested our Lakshmanji to raise this submission, sir. So C.V. Raman Fellowship or Abroad Fellowship is stopped for our local universities. Okay. So we are not getting any chance to move abroad, sir.
Right.
ICMR, DHR fellowships, other fellowships are there. They are choosing their own faculties. So please.
Right. So there is going to be some rationalization of all these fellowships. Please wait for some more time. I think the Ministry of Education will announce that.
So very good evening, sir.
Right.
I'm Nagendra. I interact with a lot of colleges, sir. So just one small question, sir.
Right.
NEP is mandatory or optional, sir?
Tell me,
Sir, I have one follow-up question, sir, but just I
Right.
wanted- Yeah. So, once you answer, just give me one more time and
Right.
just follow-up question.
So I had a colleague at IIT Delhi, and when he met his doctor, it was found that he had some cardiovascular problem. And the doctor said, if you don't walk every day, at least for an hour, you are going to be up there. He started walking and he became healthy. So is walking mandatory for that person?
Yes, sir. But I completely align with you, sir. But my follow-up one question.
Today, our country has so many challenges. If we want to overcome and find those challenges and find solutions, shouldn't we have an educational system as envisaged in NEP 2020?
Yes, sir.
It is. So there is no question of mandatory. As I said in the beginning, it is our national duty. It is our patriotic act to strengthen our country by implementing NEP 2020.
Sir, now the reason is, sir, you know, some states are implementing, some states are, not implementing, and within the state, some universities are implementing, some universities are, still working on that, and understanding of NEP also is changing from region to region. That made me to ask that question so that everyone will get clarified with you, sir.
Correct. So in this same hall, let's say we have set a target of reaching certain fitness level. One person may walk, another person may like to do jogging, another person may go to a gym and then do, because different persons have different capacities. I can't ask everybody you jog. I have knee problem, I can't jog. I give an alternate solution to that person. Similarly, our country is so diverse. Institutions are at different levels of evolution. You can't expect a rural institution, how can you expect it to do research and then become top 100 in the world rankings? You can't do. But this same rural university is doing a great service to the country by empowering the students who are coming from that rural background. So, therefore, that university is no less as compared to an IIT in terms of contributing to the country. So, it's only the diversity. Okay? But it doesn't mean that I will be complacent and then I will only walk. I should have the goal to run. I should have the goal to sprint. Constantly think about improving further. And that is what we are doing. That is the reason why you see variations in terms of the implementation. And also your question, some states are implementing, some states are not implementing. Let me tell you, there is no state which is not implementing NEP 2020. They may call it by some other different name. It doesn't matter. It's okay. As long as the major components of NEP 2020 are implemented, we are all happy. Okay?
Sir, good evening, sir. I am Professor D. Channappa from Usmania University. My appeal is there in 2018. The University Grants Commission has brought up the UGC care listed journals. They have listed category A and B, C. And because of the many committee recommendation and predatory journals, and it was withdrawn in the 2015. In between, there is a lot of confusion. And once the recognizing the journal as UGC care listed and similarly withdrawing for it, and in between some of the faculty members, they got it, they published into that UGC care listed journal. And once withdrawn it, again they are moving towards to the Scopus listed journals that was completely private, where they are collecting to the more than 50,000 to 1,00,000 rupees. And it has created a biggest problem to get the promotion part to the teachers. One state university is adapting to the only UGC care listed, and as per to the University Grants Commission guidelines, it stated that only peer-reviewed journals are enough to get the promotions. But some of the state universities, within the state also, within some of the states universities also, they are looking that only Scopus listed one or Q1 or Q2, 3 journals could be published to get the promotion. Lot of disparity, lot of confusion is there. Therefore, I appeal to that at least again kindly bring the certain guidelines to make it uniform at national level. They can follow the University Grants Commission to get the promotions at the equal level with this appeal.
So
thank you very much, sir.
Thank you for asking this question. let me explain that very briefly so that you can convey to the rest of the academic community, right? First of all, the UGC care system, when we reviewed it, we found a lot of loopholes. The loopholes, number one, the parameters which are used to select any journal were not known to any one of you, completely opaque. Two, we also found that journals which are not good are getting into UGC care list. Journals which are very good also are not getting into UGC care list. So we had an expert committee to review the entire functioning of UGC care system, and we found that it is not working at all properly. But you may say, then you fix that and then still have UGC care list of journals. Now, our academic disciplines are so diverse, it is going to be next to impossible to have any such list of journals. Do you know how many journals were there in UGC care list? Just only 900 journals were there. If I am sticking to only 900 journals, let's say I am doing research in Telugu literature, and I publish in a journal which is highly respected by peers in that discipline, but it's not part of UGC care, then I will never get any promotion. So that is why UGC has come up with guidelines. In the absence of UGC care, depending on your own discipline, we have given some 10 parameters. Use these 10 parameters and then guide your faculty members to publish in those journals. But we have also put the UGC care, the previous list, because those who have already published there, who can still use that UGC care. So today, there is no UGC care list. As an academician, all of us, we want freedom to decide where to publish. And as an academician, would you like to publish in any substandard, useless journal? You will always try to publish in the best journal. I will try, because I know when I write the paper, the quality of the work that I have done as a researcher. So I target a top level journal. If it is rejected, I go to the next level, and so on. And with 2-3 iterations, it will get published in some of the best journals. So therefore, where is the question of predatory journal? Even if the predatory journals should die their own natural death, because you should not submit any paper to any predatory journal the moment you come to know that it's a useless journal. Why this madness just to publish in any journal and increase your number of publications when it is not really contributing to anything? So as academicians, therefore, we need to be more responsible, and we need to guide our PhD students also accordingly. Okay? Nowhere in the world there is no regulator which tells that these are the list of journals where you have to publish. I think as an academic community, it is completely undesirable for us. We should have the freedom. We should decide where we want to publish. Okay?
Sir.
Please convey this to your colleagues. They will still come. UGC should have UGC care list. Please convey this. We need to develop that confidence in our mind.
Good evening, sir.
Yeah.
It's quite an inspiring speech which you have given. And regarding this multidisciplinary and all, what I really see is I don't belong. Yeah, I'm coming to that. I don't belong to this league of advanced level because I come from a junior college. I represent Bhavan's Junior College, Zainikpuri. So how do we implement this interdisciplinary at this level so that children actually take the passion to pick up their own subject and so evolve better as they progress?
Right. You see, sometimes it helps to take baby steps. Baby steps in the sense that, let's say yours is a science college. You can invite a policy maker to come and give a lecture to your students. Inspire them. As a biology student, can I also look at how Niti Aayog functions? Right? So start by providing lectures to your students. And 2, there are so many experts in different areas. What is your college specialty? It's a comprehensive college, right? It's a comprehensive college. So, within your own college, can your political science teacher give an interesting lecture to science students? Can a science teacher give an interesting lecture to your commerce students? Let there be this kind of interaction within the college itself. And then you can go to the next step, invite some experts. There are so many retired people who would like to come and interact with young people. Invite them and inspire these students. That is the first step. Whenever we want to do something, we look at the magnitude of that challenge and then we step back. Instead of doing that, you cannot solve bigger problems by looking at it as a big problem. You need to break it down into smaller parts and try to attack each part of that problem.
Thank you, sir. But the thing is, I'm glad that I'm in this particular college where we inculcate all this. But I also have an exposure to the corporate colleges, and we know pretty well in this state how people are obsessed with competitive exams, and they don't see sunrise or sunset. The students don't get to. So at this point of time, inculcating something more, I think interdisciplinary should work at this level. So I think the government should enforce more of such things in all the other colleges.
Competitive exams for employment or for higher education?
Higher degrees.
Right.
So I'm at +2. So that's the stage where people are really going for competitive exams.
Right. Because our education system and integrated system, school system, college, and up to PhD, changing in one part alone cannot rectify the system. So that's why we are working at the school level, at the higher education level, and changes are coming. And in future, if you look at the hiring system in India and abroad, they are not going to be based on only the degrees that you have. They are going to be based on the skills and the competencies you have. Even the soft skills that you must have in order to be employed. So we need to focus on this integrated education.
Good evening, sir. Good evening, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, here, sir.
Just one
sir,
minute.
myself.
You wanted to ask, did you get the chance?
No,
but I only wanted to thank you for your patience.
Just one minute, sir.
Okay.
Given already 8:45.
1 minute, sir. The most important, sir, you are as a chairperson of the University Grand Cabinet. I gone through so many your articles. The most important thing is Mokkai Vangandi Manai Vanguna. That everybody that is already in Telugu Pedabala Shikshala undi. And you are talking about the university level or the upper level. But this the same I am requesting the ABRSM as to go from the village. అక్కడ నువ్వు స్కూల్ లెవెల్ నుంచి ఇఫ్ యు ఆర్ టాకింగ్ ఫ్రమ్ ది బేసిక్ సైన్స్ ఫ్రమ్ దోస్ స్టూడెంట్స్ దట్ మీ మన కంట్రీ అప్పుడు ఎక్సలెంట్గా ఉంటుంది. అందుకోసం స్కిల్ ఓరియంటెడ్ ఎడ్యుకేషన్ ఇన్ ద స్కూల్ లెవెల్ నుంచి డెవలప్ కావాలి. తర్వాత ఇంప్లిమెంటేషన్.
Absolutely. No, he's absolutely right. But sir, a lot of things are already happening. From class 6 onwards, vocational education is being introduced. But it's happening in stages. So school education also is being transformed. Both are part of our NEP 2020.
Sir,
Yeah.
sir,
Right.
sir, one question, sir.
Please,
Last question,
please,
sir.
can you-
Please. This
Last
is not
question, first, wait one. I think given a time, 8:45 now.
We'll do one thing.
We have one more
During dinner time, I'm available.
No,
I
this
will
is
speak
not.
to you.
This is not question, sir. This is the ground level information I would like to place you. Sir, I am Dr. Ramakrishna Bandaru.
It looks like there is a popular demand.
Yeah, that's where
No,
we'll
sir.
take it because see,
No, sir,
we have
the last
another
question.
guest
This is
of honor who is waiting.
this
to
is not
speak.
question, sir. This is
We'll
just
have another session.
I think let us.
Sir, this is the ground level information that I would like to place before you.
Okay.
I am Dr. Ramakrishna Bandaru, Assistant Professor, Department of Commerce, Central University of Kerala, sir. I have been acting as the placement officer for the 3 years. So as we have been, introducing this NUP system for the last 4-5 years, this in Central University of Kerala and other central universities. So we have been providing the students as a part of NUP some tourism courses, like 4 credits, 5 credits tourism courses, because our main core is that is multidisciplinary. And also we are inviting some technical persons and giving a training to the students on web development and also technology development. But the moment we go and ask, as being a placement officer, the moment I go and ask the companies, please come and conduct a kind of placement drive, they are telling that no, we don't take. We need a specialized person. We will go to the MBA tourism people, or we will go to the technology people. So we don't take the commerce people, or we don't take those who have studied.
I will talk to you about this later.
Yes,
okay?
yes, sir.
Right, see, it's high time for us to give a break for Jagadeesh sir lecture. I'm sure you have a lot of questions. We request all of you to send to ABRSM. We will get it to answer by Professor Jagadeesh Kumar sir will be there. He will be answering. Now we will move into the next program. And I think some of you have come from far away places.
Krishna Reddy, sir, sir, how many wants to ask questions, sir? Please raise your hands. Yeah. So there are so many. I request, sir is available here, till late night also. I requested him. So my request is, sir, please understand. Now our Balakista Reddy sir is here. Yes. So after this, those who are having questions, please come forward. No, please, sir, please be seated. Please be seated. No, sir. Sir, NEP గురించి మాట్లాడండి సార్ ప్లీజ్ సార్ I understand. సార్ మీరు పాలసీ వేరు ఇంప్లిమెంటేషన్లో వస్తున్న ప్రాక్టికల్ ప్రాబ్లమ్స్ వేరు సార్. అది తీసుకుంటే అదొక పెద్ద సబ్జెక్ట్ ఉంది సార్. ఇప్పుడు ఈరోజు ఏంటంటే పాలసీ ఏం చెప్తుంది, దాని విషయంలో మనకేమైనా క్వశ్చన్స్ ఉంటే, మనకేమైనా క్వెరీస్ ఉంటే, క్లారిటీ కావాలనుకుంటే ఇప్పుడు చాలా మల్టీ డిసిప్లిన్ ఎట్లా ఉపయోగపడుతుంది, లేకపోతే క్రెడిట్ సిస్టమ్ గురించి ఏంటి, లేకపోతే మిగిలినటువంటిది ఏంటి, రకరకాల విషయాలు ఉన్నాయి సార్. ఇక్కడ నేను సార్ అదే చెప్తున్నారు, పాలసీ వేరు ఇంప్లిమెంటేషన్ వేరనేది. డిస్కస్ చేద్దాం సార్. మీరు ప్లీజ్ మీరు విన్నంత వరకు ప్లీజ్ మీరు సార్ మన అందరం కూడా ఏదో ఒక సొల్యూషన్ కోసం ఈ గ్యాదరింగ్. మీరు ఈ టైంలో ఇవన్నీ విషయాలు డిస్కస్ చేసి దీని గురించి ఇది చేయమాకండి ప్లీజ్. నో, వీ అండర్స్టాండ్ సార్, వీ అండర్స్టాండ్ యువర్ ఫీలింగ్స్, వీ విల్ డిస్కస్. మేడం ప్లీజ్ కంటిన్యూ.
Sir, thank you so much, sir, for your interaction. We understand you from each corner of your point. We find a solution for it. Sir, I request you. Thank you so much, sir. I really appreciate this session, sir. I thank each and every dignitary on the chair as well as the delegates who has graced this occasion with the beautiful voices, which has proved that voice of Hyderabad Academicians. Thank you one and all. Thank you, sir, for your valuable time and enriching address. We appreciate you for sharing your thoughts with the gathering. I also thank you, sir, for clarifying each and delegate's doubt with brief explanations and practical examples. Thank you so much, sir. Now, I request all the delegates to please be patient for few more minutes. Once again, on behalf of entire ABRSM unit, Telangana, it is an immense pleasure to welcome our distinguished guest of honor, Professor V. Balakista Reddy Garu, Chairman, Telangana Higher Education Council. I request all the audience to please applaud with a grateful sound. May I request G. Venu Prasad Garu, ABRSM College Education General Secretary, to come forward and hand over the sapling to our guest, Professor V. Balakista Reddy Garu. Thank you, sir. To introduce the guest of honor, sir, small few lines. So, thank you, sir.
So, good evening to one and all respected dignitaries on the dais, off the dais. I can see leaders of the education academia here is there. I know. First of all, sir, I have to say apology because the Parliamentary Committee on Education is there, so I had to brief them. Since morning I was there, but I don't want to miss you. I want to, say hello to you. That's why I'm here. Yes, I know last few minutes I was hearing the kind of enthusiasm you are showing. I think we need one more session, sir, Jagadeesh sir. So definitely, I don't know anything is left for me to speak about NEP. Maybe I'll try because I haven't heard, sir. He's he was part of the system. He practically handled many things. That's why after speaking him for interaction, I don't think I'm appropriate. But I'll try to see that few things I want to talk. So NEP, yes, 2020 is not new to us. NEP 68 was there, NEP 86 was there, but NEP 2020. But what is the difference between those and this? Yes, if you look at 68, very many committees, commissions happened. I don't want to go into very brief because already it's 9 o'clock. So only thing is, yes, 1968 things were different. 86 by the time all. Why NEP 2020 is important when we look at, there were certain global developments. I know you are talking about multidisciplinary, interdisciplinary, intradisciplinary, but I don't want to go into that. I will try to give you the background in 2-3 minutes. How NEP 2020 happened, or what was the background about that. There were 4 important instrumentalities are part of this NEP 2020. I can say as a student of law, globalization, liberalization, privatization, digitization. These 4 things which compelled or which part of the NEP 2020. When I say globalization, friends, you all know that today there is one important treaty because education is part of that. So that is the WTO GATS. So today education is a service. Part of that there are 160 plus services. One service is the education. That's why we are part of the global process, globalization thing. Whether right or wrong, I'm not here to talk about, but committing to any treaty, accepting to any treaty, consenting to any treaty is the sovereign prerogative of the country. So India is said yes to many treaties, including the WTO. WTO, for namesake, 3 words, but it has covering, more than 180 agreements. Part of that, including education, is one. That's why we as a sovereign country made the commitment, to implement that, because it happened in 1995. So NEP came in 20. So this is one commitment. Because of that, new education policy has to come, and of course, the beauty of new education policy, sir was talking about, multidisciplinary, interdisciplinary, intradisciplinary, multiple exit, multiple entry, all those things I don't want to go into, but this is one. Globalization was part of that. Today we are living in a global society, borderless society, maybe reasons including technology, whatever. So one compelling reason, reason for having a new education policy, keeping in view of the global developments, globalization. Of course, part of that countries, once consent, they had to implement. We in India liberalized our economy, including, education policies, part of 1991, post 1991. I don't want to go into that, but again, part of that, thing, lot of private participation is happening in education in general. Higher education is no exception to that. These 3 part important. And next one, technology, digitization also, Many components of the NEP is now part of the digitization or digital technology. Yes, friends, technology is not new to the humanity. Technology was there, is going to be there. But the kind of transformation which we are all witnessing, you as the leaders of education, you all witnessing. So when I say technology was there, go to any ancient civilization, humanity was used by technology. But how the transformation is happening, how quick, this transformation is coming, I'll tell you in 2-3 minutes. I don't want to take much time. Yes, over the centuries, lot of innovation, inventions, discoveries which helped the humanity, again, use of technology for comfort. But I can tell you, last 400-500 years of history, if you look at the kind of, technological innovation we humanity witnessing is scientific revolution. 17th century, we all know that. 18th century political revolution, 19th century industrial revolution. We talk about first, second, third. Today we are 4.0. That is part of technology. 20th century communication and 21st century. What is the revolution? We are all part of that. Can anybody? Knowledge revolution. Friends, today we are living in a knowledge revolution. AI is part of that. Technology is part of that. Of course, last 25 years, first quarter of the 21st century, what is that, we are witnessing is, of course, one buzzword, you all know that. I'm not only talking about AI, but what is that buzzword? Net technologies. What do you mean by net? Every day we saw in papers and, today it is, happening. New and emerging technologies. But I can call them as A to Z technologies. You name any alphabet. A means automation to artificial intelligence to big data to Bitcoin technology. All these technologies are influencing our every, aspect of life. Education is no exception. That is what, I want to tell you. So these are all things which part of our education policy or, NEP, sorry, explained, I don't want to. But post NEP, implementation, coming, yes, definitely India is a, union of states and all those, everybody has their own being. Education is part of, concurrent list. As a law student, I am speaking. There are certain challenges, like sir explained very well, I don't want to go into that. But last 5 years, the kind of transition we are looking in a education system, part of the COVIDization. I told globalization, liberalization, privatization, digitization. But COVIDization is a new term. I don't say I invented or discovered, but I am using as a student, sir. COVIDization is nothing but COVID pandemic, and you all have seen last 5 years the kind of impact we all witnessed part of the COVID and the kind of things which are happening in the education system I need not talk about. That is where, when we talk about implementation, definitely technology, that COVID pandemic, which, compelling all of us to be part of, technology, and we are into these things. So this is one. Of course, other things I don't want, these accountability, affordability, equity, equality, all these things are part of NEP, multidisciplinary. But what I'll just share 1 or 2 minutes, my own experience, okay? Today NEP is talking about, multidisciplinary. I'm happy to share with you, Jagadeesh sir, last 1.5 decade, I'm part of the NALSAR actually, some of you may be knowing. So we experimented, successfully implemented certain courses, whether, maritime, aviation, space, defense, all these things we experimented, sir, all the courses. If I say maritime, lighter way I say that, from deep seabed to outer space, you name any area, we designed courses, successfully implemented, multidisciplinary, part of NALSAR. So why? Because these are the courses which gives a lot of employability. Somebody, sir, talking about, Reddy, engineering. Not only engineering, I can tell you today, there is ample opportunities. You name any sector I can give as a law person, you can Google it and, cross-check me. Whatever I am speaking, I speak with evidence. If I say opportunities, start with, just now I said deep seabed. Sir, I am happy to share with you all that you are all intellectuals sitting here. I don't want to take a lecture, but 71% of the globe is covered water, not mere water. It gives you abundant resources, living, non-living, not living. Why I'm talking about, if you look at the kind of opportunities. Prime Minister Modi released, in December 23, a document called Maritime India Vision Document 2030. Up to 30, India is going to have 3 lakh crore investments and 20 lakhs jobs in only one sector, that is a maritime. If you want, you can Google it. It's not my, interpretation. It is the government of India. So you name land, aviation. Today things are happening in we are like, buying flights like a RTC buses. Nowhere in the history, one, company is buying 500 aircrafts. I am a student of aviation law again. So, but India is doing this kind of potential, we have this kind of business. But my question is that, do we have education? You can think over. So, whether it is aviation, space, as again student of space, all these things are normally, So only thing is, yes, opportunities are there, but we all have to think mismatch is there. That's why I think, this kind of courses, there is no dearth of opportunity. And I'm, happy to share with you all that, today, there is no hesitation in saying me as a, student of law, globe is eyeing on India, viewing on India, looking towards India, because India is going to supply human resource to the global society, being youngest country in the world, youth nation of the world. 65% of the population is below 35 years age. 50% of the population is, 25 years age. Nowhere in the world. That's why I think, we as educators, leaders of education, I'm using the word, we have to think, what kind of, we have to look at global necessities, global, requirements as a country, because youth country. I'm sure I can tell you, if not, economically, politically, but, definitely India is going to rule the globe in human resource. That is, being a youngest country, that is a youth nation. I think we all have a responsibility. When I say responsibility, I want to take 1 minute. Yes, we all have an individual responsibility, institutional responsibility. I have done some work because I thought it's a right forum to share. CSR versus ASR. You all know that. What is CSR? Corporate social responsibility. What is ASR? Academic social responsibility. Professor Jagadeesh sir, I have done some research, academic social responsibility, institutional social responsibility. Today we have institutions. Are we, doing our job? Giving back to the society. Why? Because universities, institutions have a time, talent, and, freedom. No other institution has this kind of thing. But are we doing our job? Are we giving back to the society? I don't know, we all have to think, but as a small, person, citizen, definitely, I pose myself question, we are good in blaming everybody. Okay, system is not good, ye nahi kiya, wo nahi kiya, aapne kya kiya? Why it's not start from you? That's why I used to question myself. I have answered to all these questions, have done some research, I have done some innovation courses. All I don't want to go into, but you can Google it. Lastly, since is a voice of Hyderabad Academicians, how voice of Hyderabad Academicians are reaching at national, I'll tell you, sir. As a student of, law, particularly space law, when I started my research, because you are all my friends, so I am sharing with you. When I started my research in JNU 40 years back, people used to laugh at me saying that what is air law, what is space law. But last 40 years as a citizen, as a responsible citizen, I was trying to convince the success governments, particularly chairmen, saying that India is doing extremely well in technology. Particularly, I'm talking about space technology. Of course, when we started space technology, you all know that India was, transporting its, space vehicles through bicycle or bullock cart, including New York Times laughed at us that India does not have a vehicle to transport, satellite. They are venturing into the space technology. But today I can tell you, sir, no country in the world has sent 104 satellites in one go. That is what India did. What I mean to say that we are doing extremely well. As a person, how we have to respond, I am coming to. So India is doing well in technology, space technology. We moved from technology phase to commercial phase. When commercialization is happening, business is happening, we are, selling, not buying. We are selling millions and billions of worth dollars. Here is as a student of law, what I thought, we should fill the gap. What is that gap? Gap is that India does not have a space law. So last 35 years, 30 years, I have done research, I have convinced the governments, and I through my writings, that's what I said, we academicians have a freedom, we can do anything we have. So through my writings, all those, finally cut short the story, Prime Minister appointed a committee, part of ISRO in 2016, taking clue of some of my research, I am happy to say. And today we have made law, that is space activities bill is pending in the parliament. So little contribution as a citizen, that is my contribution. I think, all of we can do. So this is the voice of Hyderabad reach to the parliament, sir, as an academician, as a, researcher, as a, but it is the parliament which has to take, that is the, so this is a small, contribution we made. Hyderabad academicians are like that. So we are raising our voice, maybe globally, maybe, nationally. So I know, with this I don't want, sir, already. So thank you so much for giving me this opportunity. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for your short and quick address. As we understand, as the time is pushing up, we are deeply grateful. It is now time to felicitate of the dignitaries on the dais in the presentation of a small token of appreciation. I request Dr. Yadaya Garu, ABRSM Telangana State Convener, to please felicitate our Chief Guest, Professor Mamidala Jagadeesh Kumar Garu. We truly appreciate your support and participation. To express our sincere gratitude and formally draw the program to a close end, I request Professor Kavita Garu, ABRSM State Mahila Pramukh and Youth Welfare Officer of Osmania University, to give the vote of thanks.
Namaste, one and all. On behalf of Voice of Hyderabad Academicians and the entire organizing team of ABRSM Telangana, it's my privilege and honor to deliver vote of thanks for today's insightful and inspiring program of National Education Policy 2020. First and foremost, I extend my heartfelt gratitude to our chief guest and keynote speaker, Professor M. Jagadeesh Kumar, former chairman, University Grants Commission. Sir, your valuable insight, visionary thoughts, and your deep understanding spirit of NEP 2020 have enlightened all of us. Your presence today has truly elevated the significance of this gathering. My sincere thanks to our guest of honor, Professor V. Balakista Reddy, Chairman, Telangana Higher Education Council. Sir, your perspective on future of higher education and your encouragement to the academic community have added immense value for this program. Yes, sir, you said academicians should hold the academic social responsibility for the development of the society for Vikasit Bharat of 2047. It's my honor and take this opportunity to acknowledge contribution of ABRSM Joint Organizing Secretary Shri Gunta Lakshman Ji for his leadership, constant support, guidance and encouragement throughout this planning of this program. A special note of appreciation to our convener, Dr. C.H. Krishna Reddy, for his dedicated and tireless efforts in coordinating this event so smoothly and successfully. Our heartfelt thanks to Professor Srinivas Reddy, Director of IICT, for gracing the providing the conference hall and facilities to host this program. I also thank Paidi Reddy, which has been a support crucial for the smooth conduct of this academic program. I thank all the delegates, well-wishers, ABVP, Telangana, Upadhyaya Sangam and Sangh Parivar, and also the members of the teaching fraternity, academicians and the supporters. Thank you for your active participation, for your contributing to the success of this event. We also express our sincere thanks for the appreciation to the press and media representatives for covering the program and helping to take our message. I also special thanks to Jagriti and Sandeepam for a live telecast. Finally, a warm thanks to the convener and co-convener of ABRSM Telangana, organizing committee, volunteers, technical team and all supporting staff who work behind the scene. Your commitment and hard work have made the event truly memorable and a grand success today's program. As we conclude, let us carry the forward of the spirit of collaboration and share the mission of strengthening the education ecosystem of NEP 2020. Thank you one and all. Have a wonderful evening and a safe return. Thank you very much. Namaste to one and all.
Thank you, ma'am. Let's all rise for the national anthem to conclude the program for this evening. Food section. After this, we are having a dinner, which is held at a DJ Park. Okay, so I request all the delegates to please have a dinner and leave. Thank you.
Janagana mana adhinayaka jaya he Bharat bhagya vidhata Punjab Sindh Gujarat Maratha Dravida Utkala Vanga Vindhya Himachala Yamuna Ganga Uchchala Jaladhi Taranga तव शुभ नामे जागे तव शुभ आशीष मागे गाहे तव जय गाथा जन गण मंगलदायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता जय हे जय हे जय हे जय 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 हे
ABRSM కోర్ టీమ్ వేదికపైకి రావాల్సిన కోరుతున్నాం. ABRS కోర్ టీమ్ అదేవిధంగా యూనివర్సిటీ వైజ్గా సెంట్రల్ యూనివర్సిటీ ఆఫ్ హైదరాబాద్, ఆ తర్వాత ఉస్మానియా యూనివర్సిటీ, ఆ తర్వాత తెలంగాణ యూనివర్సిటీ వచ్చినట్టు వాళ్ళు, అదేవిధంగా ఇంజనీరింగ్ వాళ్ళు గ్రూప్ వైజ్గా ఫోటో ఉంటుంది. కాలేజ్ ఆఫ్ ఎడ్యుకేషన్ మొత్తం 5 గ్రూప్గా వచ్చేసి గ్రూప్ ఫోటో దిగాల్సిన కోరుతున్నాను. ముందుగా అదేవిధంగా ఇఫ్లు కూడా రావాల్సిన కోరుతున్నాను. ముందుగా అగ్రికల్చర్ కూడా జస్ట్ ఫస్ట్ స్టేట్ టీం రావాల్సిన కోరుతున్నాను. ABRSM స్టేట్ టీం, ఆ తర్వాత హైదరాబాద్ యూనివర్సిటీ,